Take your mind into the wonderful world of physical, emotional, psychological, and spiritual wellness. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kinetic Hour. Conversations with you and guests. With your host, Kenan, Wesley, Mason. That's me.
Not that you have to be fanatic or stress over it too much, but do the best that you can, because I know that organic produce is more on the wallet by at least $1.50 to $2 more, sometimes even $3, depending on the product. But do the best that you can. Do the best that you can, and do the best that you can with getting the biggest bang for your buck. Getting the biggest bang for your buck. Next, the next item on the menu here. Let's see, we'll go here. So next is smoking. Smoking. And we all should know by now how bad smoking is on the physical body. Cigarette smoke. In this case here, cigarette smoke. I mean, keep in mind that cigarettes once upon a time were considered healthy. Back in the 50s and 60s, cigarette smoke was considered healthy and was literally recommended by your physician. They were doctor recommended and doctor approved back in the 50s and 60s, that smoking cigarettes was healthy because your physician smoked as well. As they developed lung cancer and other ailments, as we'll read here. Smoking or drinking during pregnancy. Fetal exposure to alcohol and tobacco is thought to play a role in ADHD. Children exposed to tobacco smoke prenatally are 2.4 times as likely to have ADHD as those who are not, research suggests. Quote, fetuses exposed to alcohol can develop fetal alcohol effects or fetal alcohol syndrome. And the prominent features for both are the symptoms you see in ADHD, end quote, says Dr. Mark L. Woolrick, chief of the section of developmental and behavioral pediatrics at the University of Oklahoma Health Sciences Center in Oklahoma City. So smoking and drinking during pregnancy. Smoking and drinking during pregnancy. I don't know too many people that smoke or drink during pregnancy. People that smoke or drink during pregnancy today, that's rare, if ever. Rare, if ever, that we see any woman smoking cigarettes or drinking any type of alcohol during pregnancy. I mean, that's rare today, because we know the more alcohol that you drink, the more the more you're raising the risk of birth defects. Birth defects. Not only birth defects, but effects on the brain as well during child development, after birth as the child grows up. But we all know that smoking cigarettes is not the greatest thing. We all know. I mean, so this should go without saying. Smoking, the carbon monoxide, the nicotine, all the ingredients that are in the tobacco. We've all seen the truth commercials, for tobacco and smoking awareness. So this should be no secret. So the only solution that I can give is, ladies, while you're pregnant, don't drink. While you're pregnant, don't smoke. As simple as that. Your child will thank you forever for it. I'll do one more. And then I'll wrap up and I'll do some more. Oh, this is a big one here, the next one. So let me put the next one up. So next, I'll do one more. And again, all of this is about ADHD, ADHD, also known as attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. So the next one I'm putting up here is food additives. Food additives. And again, this is a big one. Food additives. You know that there's I have to put this up on the next episode, but the Kellogg's Corporation is under attack right now for their use of food dyes, and because here in America, synthetic additives are used versus fruit additives. In the case of the Kellogg's, being under attack by the people and protesting in front of their headquarters, because here in America, food dyes are used versus, like I just mentioned, extracts from actual fruits, such as how they do in Canada or in Europe. But leave it up to here in America, because we love to create the illnesses, because we already have the remedies waiting in the wings for you. We create the problem and we create the solution. So food additives. Many European countries have banned certain preservatives after research linked hyperactivity in young children to food with mixtures of some artificial food colors and the preservative sodium benzoate. The FDA, or the Food and Drug Administration, says food additives are safe when used properly, in quotes, properly. And most additives aren't required to be clearly labeled on packaging. That's free enterprise here in America. If you can lobby with the right people that are in Congress, you can get these ingredients put in the food supply like that. It's all about who you know. In the industry, experts think only a small number of children will benefit from avoiding brightly colored processed foods, which tend to have more additives. Quote, consult with your child's doctor before putting your child on a particular diet, says Leavitt. Reducing consumption of these additives may or may not help hyperactive behavior. Many factors play a role in ADHD, and food additives are one of those many factors. It's no secret. And the food additives have been put in the food supply for a long time. As I come out of here, talking about food additives, back in 2016, my mother and I interviewed Dr. Betty Martini. She passed away, but we had the opportunity to interview her, and she's been like a pioneer when it comes to food additives. The main food additive that she was a real opponent of was aspartame, which is considered a neurotoxin or an excitotoxin. aspartame, and it's in everything as well. Um, but yeah, she was definitely. Matter of fact, I'm gonna have to pull some clips of that specific interview for another show, or I might even post some clips on Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, Dr. Betty Martini was brilliant talking about food additives. Um, there's other physicians that have talked about this in the past, Dr. Russell Blaylock and Dr. Sherry Tenpenny. I can go on and on and on. Um, but yeah, Dr. Betty Martini, the brilliancy that the brilliant woman that she was. Food additives. So the solution, the solution, and again, this is a tough one because food additives are in everything. They're in all of your food supply, especially most of your packaged foods. Your packaged food, there's food additives such as food dyes, uh, artificial sweeteners, you name it. They're all in the food supply. They're considered food additives. They're considered food additives. And like this article said right here, many European countries have banned certain preservatives after research linked hyperactivity in young children to food mixed with mixtures of some artificial food colors and preservatives. Like this one, sodium benzoate. So food additives, again, it's tough. So just do the best that you can. Uh, or again, you can do what your budget will allow and purchase organic or purchase food, especially for your children, where you know that um, uh, they have the additives that don't have artificialities, but rather the actual food extract, whether it's a blueberry flavor. For example, going back to Kellogg's, Fruit Loops, they have all the different colors. Now, here in America, they use all the food dyes, red 40, blue 40, all these different colors. Uh, and all you got to do is look on the back or on the side of the box. Tells you all the different ingredients, all the food dyes, all the food color and all their labeled names. Red 30, red 40, blue 40. They're all there. As opposed to in Europe and in Canada, they use blueberry extract or lime extract or grape extract or strawberry extract, something that more mimics the fruit so your body can actually recognize it and utilize it as an energy source. I mean, that's what we teach children that breakfast is for, so they can have energy for the school day. Not having all the food dyes, the rainbow of artificial food dyes in their system, and then they're bouncing off the walls, not paying attention to their schoolwork. ADHD, hyperactivity, because they have an overload of food dyes or what's called food additives in the food supply. And an accumulation of this is why children have the behaviors that they do. Children typically act a certain way when they're in their normalcy. But when you have stimulants such as food additives, then they're going to go above and beyond their normal and natural behavior. It's going to be whatever their natural behavior is, and then it's going to be amplified. It's going to be amplified. And then, unfortunately, many parents are convinced that, it's just the children having a behavioral problem, and then they're diagnosed as having ADHD and ADD, attention deficit That's what they're diagnosed with, having an attention deficit, meaning that their attention span is at an all-time low. It's at a deficit. And so the remedy for that, according to the school system and the medical system, is pills. Just give them pills so they can go in the corner and they can just sit there and be quiet for the rest of the day, because that's what they want anyway. So not to get to the root cause, and the root cause in this case are food additives. So the first three: pesticides, smoking and drinking alcohol, and food additives. So when your child is diagnosed as having an attention deficit, you might want to look at these three potential symptoms, or these potential causes of the symptoms. These three that I just mentioned here and highlighted for ADD and ADHD, the myths and the facts. Because it's not your children's fault. It's not your child's fault that they're bouncing off the walls. You know, I mean, oh yeah, the next one's going to be good, but I'm going to save that one for next time. But just know that there are solutions. And again, for the first three, the best solution is to just start purchasing food and start looking at the ingredients. Just look at the ingredients. You know, if they have food dyes, you can see it. It'll say it right on the label. Don't buy it. Simple as that. Don't buy it. Especially if you know that these things are affecting your child to where they're diagnosed with a behavioral disorder or some behavioral challenge, right? So you may want to consider that. I'm going to go over the next few, because there's about 5 or 6 more to go, but I'm going to leave it for the next episode. And I'm also, because this month is breast cancer awareness, I'm going to go back to talking about cancer as well, and some tips on how we can use better preventative measures for cancer. And in this case, preventative measures for attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder. So I'm going to end it right there. Go to my YouTube channel. Again, KENNETIC, the Kinetic Hour. Tell everyone you know to tune in. I'm going to do the best that I can, and I'm doing the best that I can to bring you the most transparent information that I can, because the more information that you have, the better decisions that you can make, and be okay with those decisions. No matter what the outcome is, whatever the outcome becomes, you can make even a better decision on top of that, right? Because all of us have room for improvement. So my YouTube channel, The Kinetic Hour, my other YouTube channel, Kinetic Fit and Wellness Info. Tell everyone that you know to tune in. I may even go live tomorrow. We'll see. But just know that your child doesn't have to be diagnosed with ADHD. So many children are misdiagnosed unnecessarily. Why? Because ADHD and ADD are big business. Big business. So we'll talk more about that on the next show. So until next time.